My name is Pascal Yearlings. I am a co-founder of J4RVIS, and I mostly look after the operations side of the business, so very much involved in Cloudstaff and Cloudstaff selection process.
Cool, my name is Yanis. I'm the other co-founder, co-CEO of the business. I look predominantly after our sales and marketing activities. And to answer your question on who's J4RVIS, what are we? We are a Salesforce and MuleSoft system integrator, which means we implement Salesforce and MuleSoft centric systems for our customers, predominantly in Australia, CRM and integration.
So the journey started about 2020 in June 2020, where we hired our initial staff through a common network. And we've been around probably around 2 years now, getting to the 2 years mark with Cloudstaff. And we've got about 45 staff members now. Well, first, we started the business right at the beginning of COVID. So for us, it was about providing value to our customers without having the risk to employ people onshore in Australia. So we needed to find a way to be competitive, but at the same time not jeopardize the quality of our solutions. So through our different ways of working in the past, we decided to go towards the Philippines because of the local market that we have and the connections that we've had. And it was really important for us to develop that culture and that process with them. Yeah, and today I'm really excited to be 45 people with them.
Because we needed some form of means to employ somebody really quick, we just literally used the internet, right? To find who is a BPO organization in the Philippines that can employ somebody on our behalf, because that needed to happen within a matter of weeks, not months. And we started with that organization, and I think that was for us a learning curve from understanding local law, legislation, all the stuff that we had absolute no idea about, right? Things like a 13th month salary, employee benefits that you're paying here, the way how health insurance works.
We wanted to find a reliable partner who can give us a confidence in their infrastructure, in their recruitment practices for us to grow, really embracing them into our hiring practices. For example, just doing the performance reviews, making sure that they follow our performance review process was really important for us. So looking for a partner who can tailor their systems, tailor their processes to our needs was really crucial in our decision-making process.
So we have here in the Philippines predominantly consultants, developers, and quality assurance testers. You can think about it that in Australia we have a lot of customer-facing roles, architects, project managers, and perhaps project leads, right? That interact a lot with the customer, perhaps lead a lot of our workshops, discovery workshops that we might run, and then the implementation project. And they then obviously need an engine room that can deliver all of these requirements that we extract, right? So our Philippines team is really that engine room, right, to bring all the customer requirements to life.
For us, what was really important is to set up and explain our values to our Cloudstaff to really understand the way we hire, the way we look for people as well.
Of course, they're excellent, right? Because we hire for attitude and then train for skill, right? That's always been a lot of our mentality, that if we find somebody lives and breathes our values, we can teach them the tricks of the trade, right? And I think that has allowed us to scale, right? The model how we deliver project always has been built on a hybrid, parts of the teams in Australia, parts of the teams here in the Philippines, where you get a lot of the onshore support in Australia from our team there, where customers sort of get that confidence that they're not just outsourcing and completely offshore. So there's a level of responsibility and ownership, and then equally they get a cost benefit of leveraging a team that is, you could argue, nearshore, right? The Philippines are 3 hours behind the East Coast in Australia. So it's a really beneficial time period, right? We almost work exactly in the same time zone. If we have projects on the West Coast in Perth, it's literally the same time zone. So there's a huge cost benefit for a customer without really sacrificing a lot of the, what you would sometimes argue, downsides of outsourcing.
The journey where a lot of the Filipinos have a natural shy personality, and I think oftentimes we wanted to make sure we engage in the same way that we treat our Australian staff, and by approaching the same mechanism in the beginning was something that we expected to flourish the same way that in Australia. But I think the reality was that we really need to make sure that we understand the Philippine culture, to make sure we adapt our processes, that we adapt the way of working.
That is really important to us, right? To Pascal's point, we want to treat our staff here in the Philippines the same way how we treat our Australian staff. Yes, of course, we would recommend Cloudstaff. Who would be recommended to? I can see two types of customers. One type is your traditional service desk outsourcing, right? So really traditional outsourcing in the sense of I need a lot of people that I can mobilize really quick to perform somewhat administrative or support-driven tasks. If you are looking to build a practice that requires a high amount or high degree of skill, right? Like if we think about Salesforce and MuleSoft, right? I think Cloudstaff is great as your vehicle to employ your staff members, but you need to, as an organization, take on part of the ownership of the training. There's sort of like two parts, I think. From one side is just scale with perhaps simpler tasks, and the other side is the vehicle of employment, where you play a more active role in the ongoing management.